Kids who play sports, when you try hard at something and you become good at it in your own mind, that means that later in life, when you want to master the next thing, kids put in hours for nothing today.
There's a theory in therapy that you get the opportunity to play.
Welcome to Keep Hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling, where we are going past the why to get to the how. I'm your host, the always hustling Aaron Gordon, aka NY Risk Advisor, aka Mr. Keep Hustling. In this podcast, we will be diving deep into the professional and personal successes of our guests to find out how they hustled through the most difficult times in their life and their development to achieve the success they've gotten to today. So buckle up for what hopes to be an amazing ride. And of course, now and always, keep hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guests, the Brothers of Hillcrest Salt Bow League, aka HSL, Avi Adelman, and Dr. Dovid Gottlieb. Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen.
It's our pleasure. Dr. Gottlieb, thanks for coming.
This is the first time we've ever had two people in studio. This has been a long time coming of us hanging out. We're just going to have a free-flowing conversation about a bunch of topics because I think that one of the things that Keep Hustling stands for, a lot of the things that Keep Hustling stands for, you guys and what you're building are a part of. I am blessed to be not only the father of a champion, we're blessed to be at Gordon Companies, the sponsors of the first ever Gridiron Gauntlet, of which we were champions. So I'm actually a two-time champion in a row right now. We're hoping to get an adult championship and a kids championship this coming season and just fill the trophy case because in the Gordon house, we don't believe in participation trophies as they don't believe at HSL. So really, thank you guys for being here. We have a lot to discuss, but really thank you for being here.
It's our pleasure. We're actually we had a meeting with the Annie's Kitchen team who lost to you guys in the kids championship, and he was going on and on about how the refs cost him the game. So he's not too happy about that.
You know what? I want to jump in on that topic. I was going to leave that for the end, but we can start with that because it's a great topic. I think that what you're doing with youth sports is very important because a lot of the people who I've interviewed on Keep Hustling, what ultimately began when they look back at their hustle is their childhood athleticism. Nobody, I don't want to say nobody, I'm not sure how many, maybe one actually got to college or post-college actual sports, but many people, the foundation comes with kids. And I think what you're doing, making kids passionate about sports in a fun way, is great. But the second part of the question, or the second part of the comment, is you deal with a lot of crazy adults. So first, what is it? What impact do you feel you're having on the kids, Dovid? And then Avi, because I know he deals with the complaints, I'm going to ask you about how you actually feel about crazy parents, and also like you have adult rec leagues and like people treat them like it's Madison Square Garden game one. But I'm going to go to Dovid first on the impact on kids because you're a psychologist.
So Avi, to be honest, Avi deals a lot more with the parents than I do. I really take a back seat with the HSL youth stuff. I'm much more involved with the HSL adult stuff. And in terms of the youth sports, I think it's an unbelievable thing that we're doing, that we're trying to bring it to the Queens community. I grew up in Queens, JCBL. I was a big part of, but there wasn't much beyond that spring league. And how many outlets are there, especially in this day of smartphones and iPads and this and that? And I'll just put in one plug very quickly. It's not even a plug. It's just, something me and Avi are very defensive about. Me and Avi believe that a rainout is the worst thing in the history of sports. We want everybody to be playing every Sunday. We don't care if it's wet. We don't care if it's sloppy. Our adult softball league starts on March 9th. Yeah, it's 40 degrees, sure. It's 36 degrees, 37 degrees. We want to bring the same thing for the kids. Be outside. What do the kids? What do kids do? All I have is a 3-year-old. Be'ezer Hashem will have more children, But right now, all I have is a 3-year-old on a rainy, cold Sunday. Is my kid better off watching 3 hours of Blippi, 3 hours of Mighty Monster Wheelies? You know what I'm saying? Like,
was that a pitch for the league or a pitch for the sponsor of the HSL Dome? I'm not sure which one it was.
Who's the HSL Dome?
We're gonna get the sponsor right now. We're gonna build a dome so we can always play.
Can we ask Blippi?
By the way, you secure that sponsor. We'll get them on the cage.
My kid's obsessed with Blippi now, so it's tough.
But seriously, kids who play sports, I think, get two things. One, obviously the outlet, but two, when you try hard at something and you become good at it in your own mind, that means that later in life, when you want to master the next thing, you've mastered something. Kids put in hours for nothing today.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Before you answer, Avi, the 5th grade championship that I won in JCBL, my coach was Bob Garber, Naftali Garber was the coach. I can name you every single position on the team. And we beat a team from Hillcrest. The coach was, Scott K was the pitcher. I don't remember his dad's name. They were undefeated. We beat them in the championship. We were the underdog by a lot because they were undefeated that season. We lost them in the regular season 3-2. I was the first baseman, believe it or not, Avi. And batting 5. I was a good hitter back in the day. It sticks
it's all
with me
relative
forever.
when you're a kid.
It sticks with me
You know,
forever.
it's amazing you say that.
I can give you every position.
And just for the record, if you're listening, this episode's going more than a half hour, so buckle up because it's going to be a lot of fun. But my wife's aunt and uncle live in Lawrence. And when I was dating my wife, I made her watch the Yeshiva League Championship from 2005 when we broke the curse of Ramaz. The Ramaz Rams broke the curse of 42 years. Shout out Sam Goldberg, who was already on the pod.
42 years.
Yeah,
I
shout
think
out.
I saw that recently on one of your things, either your WhatsApp status
No,
or
because
s-
Sam
or s-
Goldberg.
No,
Sam
he
Goldberg
posted the
was on
banner
an
from that
episode.
team.
Yeah, and I was,
right.
because I speak there, and I literally, and she thinks it was the weirdest thing in the world, and she had told me over the course of our dating and being engaged and getting married that, like, I had this weird thing in her mind that I remembered things from my youth, especially the victories, especially things like that. For me, the losses were much more painful. And we're one Shabbos, we're at our aunt and uncle's house, and their neighbors, I didn't know, but their neighbor's father was the coach of Flatbush basketball. His name is Dave Wolf. He's great. He was a legendary coach in the Yeshiva League. He coached 7th and 8th grade when I was in 7th and 8th grade, and then North Shore High School opened, and then he coached North Shore High School, junior varsity, and then varsity. So we played against his teams, my friends who played for him, for 6 years. They beat us in the championship in 8th grade. It was a Sunday. It was in Yeshiva Flatbush. It was like the Knicks last night.
Oh my gosh.
We were leading. They had a great comeback. There was a bad foul call. Maurice Calvin hit a great foul line jumper. I remember it.
30
literally
years ago.
every single thing. It was almost 30 years. No, it was 24 years ago. It was 2001. 24 years ago. Shabbos, we're at my wife's aunt and uncle, and Dave Wolf walks by. And he goes, Gordon, like down the lawn. And I say, what's up, coach? And he goes, remember that championship? Now, this was 20 years later or 15 years later or whatever it was. And my wife's then, I'm like, you see? You see? He even remembers. And I totally get it. It's something to grab onto when I see the guys. I was at a golf tournament. I saw a guy who was on my basketball team. Like, it's the greatest thing ever, and we can master it. Avi, I'm still going to stick to the question.
Yeah.
What do you think you're building for kids at HSL?
It's a great question, and I'll tell you something that at least got me very passionate about doing this, besides the fact that I personally love working with kids, being in camp all those years, and besides for the actual sports part, which is extremely important, obviously, like we said, to learn a skill, to build, to get better at sports. Kids end up playing sports their whole life. You want to make sure they're good. I think a large part of what we're doing, especially for the younger boys, is sort of this, what we call a multi-sport program, which not only teaches boys like basic skills in different sports, but we're also very focused on really building their confidence and sort of like teaching them that, like, they could, it's okay to not be perfect, and sort of helping them to get better. A lot of times you find with like different sports leagues, you throw them onto a court in first grade, and they're just not really doing much. They're sitting around doing nothing. Something that we're very focused on for the younger kids is, besides for obviously building their skill, helping them get better, but really making them feel good and confident, which I think will automatically, translate into helping the kids get better into sports. Our coaches, we very much focus on having coaches that are amazing with kids. Not just amazing with
My son
building
loved his coach. Holy moly. We
yeah,
love that guy.
they're like energetic. They're into it. They're excited.
Who was his
they
coach?
Make the kids. I think it was.
There were two brothers?
Minaj.
It was Minaj.
Minaj.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about it is, and I actually want to lean in on that, because one of the things I have to compliment you on, even though I hate complimenting other people on my own podcast, but it's true, is that it wasn't always like that. Meaning the first year,
Correct. Yeah.
the league was, my kid, he was in like second grade, I think. I was in third grade. So last year was the first basketball league, right?
Yeah.
Disaster. Games ended like 4-1. and
Yeah.
like the kid was shooting a foul shot from right front, and then I think you realize like, yeah, the kids are not going to gain skills this way. So that league ended up splitting up to half skills,
Yes.
half games.
Correct.
These coaches are unbelievable. Their energy was insane. I mean, you were at that championship game.
It was
the
nuts.
two brothers were playing
You were
against each
also
other.
I can, yeah.
Forgetting the fact that that the reffing was great because we won.
Pristine reffing.
Teeing up a coach in a third grade game when it's, I think the score at the time was like 6-3. It ended up picking up, right?
It was a close game at the time, and I think that 1 point made for a difference. I think you guys won by 1
It
point.
was so, we ended up in overtime, but that was the guy threw the clipboard. It was amazing.
Through the
I'm
clipboard.
going to hash through the clipboard.
No, the other guy, the brother, who was
Roz?
Roz. It was maybe we
No,
had
it was
Roz.
Minhaj.
We had Roz.
Oh, sorry, you had Roz.
I had Roz.
Minhaj got teed up.
The other thing that I want to point out about that with the coaching, and then,
Yeah.
then we'll pivot to something else, is these kids having coaches that are nothing like them. There's a level of mentorship that I didn't think about. Like my kid, and they were very good. My kid,
Yeah.
and I say this, it's an Orthodox Jewish league, or it's a Jewish league, mostly Jewish league.
Yeah.
These guys are not Jewish. They don't look Jewish. They don't act Jewish. There was one game where one of them was like, I can't stay later because I'm fasting for Ramadan. Remember that?
Exactly.
And it was like, and my kid didn't hear it. I heard it. And I was like, this is amazing, like, because obviously you guys do a good job of vetting people. And it's a little weird that there's these random adults coaching, kids. But in a very safe way, it's an interesting level of exposure to other people. Now I want to get to the adults, and then I want to get to the business side.
Yeah.
So you have like passion. I'm going to get back to Dovid just a second. I want to come to you because you play, but like you have the status thing going. People, it's incredible the amount of passion that people have. Like follow up, feedback, commenting. Like Zalman Pollock was on the podcast. He's a good friend of mine, and like. He was on Corn Companies. He came, we were at a bar mitzvah together, and he shows up. He's like, I don't think we're going to win tonight, man. And I'm like, dude, we're at a friend's bar mitzvah, and it's like, it's a rec league, and I'm totally fine if my team that's sponsored. It would be great to win. And then he texted me that night. He's like, I was right, man. We just totally just laid an egg tonight. We were horrible. And then later, like, these guys get into it. Like, we had a controversial thing, right? We had a controversial ending, apparently, in our baseball game last week.
Yeah.
Softball game.
Yeah.
Like, what is it like?
Take
Me into the passion. Like, I want to know what's it like to have crazy adults, and like, obviously you try to keep it healthy, and you guys are doing a great job of it. But like, it just amazes me that you could have 35-year-old people with like 5 or 6 kids,
55-year-old.
55-year-old people with like grandkids, right?
Yeah.
Millionaires also.
And they regress to literally like the third graders.
Dave, you address this because I'm passionate about it also, but you're beyond passionate.
I've spent 15 years studying psychology, and Aaron is asking questions I'm not sure I can answer. I really liked what you said earlier about mastering something. I'm not going to get too deep into the Freudian psychology because I don't think the audience will be comfortable with it or understand it even. But in terms of, this age where you're like 3 and you're 4 and you're starting to know your way in the world and you're trying to like sort of defeat your father or defeat your mother in some way. And while you were talking, Aaron, my brain was sort of rolling through psychological studying, and I'm like, wow, is that what you used the word regress? You're either in therapy or have studied a lot of psychology.
Maybe both. But let me tap on that. So then, how do you explain the adults that are still passionate? Is it
Well,
tapping
you use the
back
word
to it?
regression. I don't know.
Oh, that's when I use regression.
Yeah, you use regression. You're what?
You've seen the way that some people talk to UMs?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's not 100% childhood regression, but it's amazing at the same time. But it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah, there's a big word in psychology. I mean, it's a big word in life called playing. And there's a theory in therapy that you get the opportunity to play. What does a kid do when they play? They do weird things. They do things that don't make sense. They're flying things. They're doing things. They're talking to themselves for an hour. And I'm now wondering if in softball and basketball, you're playing, you're entering into a space where you're much younger. And that's not a space you get to enter into 7 days a week when you have to. I have a patient. He loves making fun of he's so upset about that. Whenever he sends an email to like a bigwig in his company, he has to write, "Dear so and so, I hope this email finds you well." He's like, "Why do I need to put in that first line. I hope this email finds you well. Like, we work in the same office. He doesn't talk to him every day, but, what is that all about? He says it's nonsense. But I guess we have all these structures in the workplace that when you get onto the ball field, you can kind of throw that away and be a little kid again.
That's how I feel. Like, it's such an amazing opportunity, like, just to, like, I'll tell you, like, growing up, going through high school, I was in yeshiva, I was in Chavetz Chaim, I wasn't part of the yeshiva league. Like, I never played a basketball game with real refs, right? Like, I never played a softball game with real umpires. Like, it sounds so, like, it's like such a small detail, but, like, for a lot of these men who are working all week and have families and have, like, getting to play a game of softball or basketball in a real setting with refs and with, competition and, with standings, and now hopefully we are helping to incorporate incentives and, this guy gets this for winning and that for winning. Like, these people take it very seriously.
And the pre and the post, what leads up to it, and after, and the next
hype.
week and before it. And I like what you said about the fact that it's playing. Like, we don't get to play. We're adults. We work.
Right.
We work, we parent, we do this. We don't get to play. But sports, athletes, they get to play all the time. Some well and some not so well. I'm going to lean on Avi for this one. I hope that's okay.
Oh, please.
I've known him for
Avi
longer.
is the brain trust here. You should lean on Avi for everything. I feel like I shouldn't even be
psychology. Except for the
talking
psychology.
yeah.
I think that you are, and I say this in front of a psychiatrist, I think you are not totally, but not mildly, somewhere in the middle, insane. And I say that, with, you know that I respect you and I admire you. I think that you're absolutely insane.
Yeah.
From the first day I met you when we were talking about sponsorships, I told you you were out of your mind.
Yeah.
I think that
You were sitting on a bungalow chair in Cunningham Park, week number 2
of course,
of our HSL Youth Spring League.
But I think it was even before that.
Maybe, but that was when we had our first real conversation.
Yeah,
for
but
like
I
10
think, but
minutes
it's
or
like
something.
you're insane.
Yeah.
Okay? The hours, the ideas, the execution that nobody appreciates. Like, literally nobody appreciates. Switching a gym, dealing with this. A gym when the school's on vacation and they assumed we weren't going to play.
That was
all
crazy.
all these things like that. My kid was my kid played.
Yeah.
But I feel like when everybody told you this idea was insane, you double down. Like, let's get into
Triple
that.
down. Triple down.
Why?
Quadruple down.
Why?
2 reasons. A, Mr. Gottlieb over here, he pushed me.
Doctor.
Dr.
Be
Gottlieb.
respectful.
Sorry,
Doctor.
doctor.
For the record, just one thing. I have some patients. They come in. Some call me David I go by Dovid in the Queens community. Some call me. It's like an interesting. Some come in. They call me David. Some come in. They call me Doctor. And it's always like interesting.
You're like, as long as was don't really care. Call me whatever you want.
I was gonna say.
Just keep bringing your credit card.
Avi. Call me Avi as long as you have enough balance.
Call me
in your
Aaron.
career.
I worked for many years. My whole family's in the healthcare industry. My dad, 3 of my uncles, a couple of my aunts, they're all working in healthcare. And I thought, as my yeshiva days are coming to an end, I'm a people's person. I'm a good marketer. I'm good at sales. I raise a lot of money for my yeshiva. Okay, this is an easy thing for me to do. I can make good money. And I started as an assistant administrator. I couldn't sit for 3 seconds. I then went into the marketing world because, it's my space, marketing. I could, sell people. I just didn't enjoy my life. It was as simple as that. And I was good. I wasn't terrible. I was pretty good at it. I didn't enjoy it. I was genuinely, I don't like using the word depressed so lightly, but I got home from work and I felt like garbage. I felt like I was wasting my time.
How long a bath did you need when you got home?
I love baths.
Avi loves baths.
It helps like, no, for real though. It helps like reset me.
Where do you live?
71st Road.
In the
Where did I live?
Oasis?
Yeah, right now.
You use that bathtub?
I do. I love it. I love it. And I'm open about it, by the way. I'm open about
All
it.
the Queens people, anyone
I
who's
love
listening
it.
to this on KGH, first of all, fun fact, I'm also a huge bath guy. I just never have the time. But I want to.
Wait, Aaron, you don't have room to put in a
Yeah,
bath?
by the way, maybe we should have studio like
I was gonna say
the table
a
retracts.
triple office.
But the idea, what is something that I think most parents would buy into, and adults, the league the adult league kind of existed before, meaning there were games going on. You just kind of formalized it. That wasn't as insane. I think the idea that you would get all these parents who think it's a good idea, who know that their kids should be exercising, who want their kids to have the outlet, but yet have every reason why it's not going to work.
Yeah.
There's no gyms. There's not enough time. There's always bar mitzvahs. We have to go shopping. There's family events. There's this and that, this and that, this and that.
Much more.
How many kids? How many kids are enrolled right now?
Currently, I have including JCBL, we have close to 300 kids. It's crazy.
That's insane.
It's not normal. Yeah. And it goes. I know it goes deeper than that. Like I was saying when I first started, I was still working in nursing homes as a marketer, and I said enough's enough, and thanks for Dovid pushing me. We were playing on a softball league, and Dovid's like, oh, it's a small league, take it over. And long story short, we bought a softball league, HSL, Hillcrest Softball League, and a few weeks later, we're like, hello, like in Queens, the dead space for sports for kids. Let's do something. And I said, you know what? Let's do it.
Was that your dad's idea? Whose idea was it?
That was.
I love the fact that you didn't have a kid. Like they say, necessity is the mother of all invention. This was not necessity, which is why I think it worked.
But Avi has a wait, say that again?
Meaning they say that necessity
is the mother of invention.
Is the mother of all invention. Avi didn't create the league
for his kid. And you said you think that's why it worked? That was the thought I was curious about.
Because I think that it gets stale. I think if you do it for selfish, if you do anything for selfish reasons, like, oh, okay, my kid's not having a good time, therefore my kid thinks they got cheated. Therefore, the idea falters. No, after you start the league. I'm saying after you start the league.
This guy's a shtickle psychologist.
No, I'm saying after you start the league. You start the league because you want something to occupy your kids on Sunday. Right? Let's say I was doing that, right? My son has nothing to do on Sunday. I want to play ball. But then my son comes back after week 2 and he's like, this league stinks. I'm not having fun.
You
be like, okay, shut it down.
Yeah, you lose your
the person who doesn't do it out of necessity will be more successful than the person who does it out of necessity. I think that's the story.
I think this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I just didn't realize. I think you realized that in me, and I think it helped push me to do it. And I, to your point, the last few months. I'll say it. I don't care. The last few months working in healthcare as a marketer, like I would say over 80% of my workday wasn't actually working as a marketer. I was making phone calls to literally every parent in Queens. It's not a joke. I was getting on the phone with everybody. I heard from people there is an issue that X kids wouldn't play with X kids, and this type wouldn't play with that type, and it's impossible to get fields and gyms. And I heard every excuse in the book. And like you were saying, every single time I heard, oh, this school wouldn't play with that school, it motivated me and pushed me to say like, no, we could do it. That's ridiculous. Why can't we make something happen?
And by the way, that was proven false, right? Meaning every kid, not every kid in Queens, but every person that you were
fantastic.
told can't integrate. I don't want to leave any types out because I don't want to. But meaning whatever people told you wasn't going to work from that angle
worked 1,000%, and it worked right away. Like it got a little bit.
I hate that it worked. Like when he was calling me and asking me, like, I'll admit it on the air because none of them was in anyway. We're not going to mention names. Like, I have friends whose numbers were procured by Avi via me, and then I hear them like complaining on Shabbos that there's this guy who won't leave them alone, and one of them found out it was me, and I got like totally destroyed. And I happened to be. I
thought that was the end of the relationship.
No, but I happened to have given it to Avi. No, you know why it was the end of the relationship? Because, like business partnerships, like marriages, I mean. It's about how you get through the tough times. It's about realizing,
that's true.
Once you said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I didn't realize. It won't happen again. And that's it. What was I going to do? First of all, I need something for my son to do on Sundays. We're desperate here. But
what do you call me, Dovid?
I have a good friend.
A maniac psychopath?
No, he has a good word for it.
Future ex-murderer?
I have a good friend, Ellie Pfeffer, and he, he's always catching up with me. We get lunch once in a while. He's very interested in business and the HSL. So I tell him a lot about Avi, and he says he's a professional harasser. Yeah. He says that's what Avi is. He's a professional harasser.
And guess what? Works out for the fundraising. Works out for the league. Yeah. I think I know where I met you. Where? I think we met at a wedding.
We did. You're right.
And you harassed me. You harassed me for a donation.
And you gave me.
And I broke
a very nice amount.
And I broke the golden rule. I have a golden rule, and everyone should listen to this.
I have that texting chain still with you.
I have a golden rule which is still told today, so sorry you're not getting a donation from me because you didn't ask.
Shoots.
The golden rule is, with RSA, those who don't live in Queens, I apologize, this next 45 seconds is not going to mean anything to you, but if you live in Queens or you've ever hung out with anyone who's affiliated with
or if you ever received a random message from someone not in your contacts about RSA raffle campaign.
First person gets the money, and after that I'm telling him to go jump in a lake. I can't have 5,000 people harass me. And we were at a wedding, and he just, I don't know, it was so passionate. You were like, if I reach this, will you help me get to this?
I was trying to hit, this 3 years ago where I was trying to hit $100,000.
And you were like, if I get to something, will you get me to the top?
Yeah, I was trying to basically build down from 100.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, Aaron, let me ask you a question. I know Avi a long time.
Wow, this is crazy.
What?
I'm not allowed to do that. This is my studio.
Yeah, Dovid, it's not the HSL.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're at the Keep Hustling podcast.
Go ahead.
here.
No, we're psychoanalyzing Avi here. I know Avi a long time. We were on the we were on a softball team for a bunch of years. Half the guys on the team hated him, but they stuck around. Then me and Avi got closer. And what is it about him that turns people off, but at the same
He's a psychopath.
But
I mean that seriously. No, but I mean that meaning
but at the same time turns people on.
there are people tell me about this. This is what I think. This is why I like Avi's a little younger than me, but we're similar in this vein. And my wife actually sometimes points this out to me.
About you and Avi?
No, about me. She just thinks Avi's a psychopath, like I do. Like it's a common theme in the Gordon House about Avi being psycho.
It's a common theme in general about
No,
me,
but
so.
I think that people give others a longer leash when they realize that they're really just trying to do the right thing. Like trying to build something, trying to hustle, not to just steal the tagline, but trying to hustle, trying to do it the right way.
It's your tagline.
That's right. Sometimes it's going to take, sometimes that means like harassing a parent. I'll tell you a good story. I was with I for a while hung out once a month with a billionaire, a serious billionaire, like over 10 billion.
What do you consider a non-serious billionaire?
No, someone who like hit a billion and then dropped out like quickly. Like you can't fluctuate with a day's market into the billions.
Aaron,
That's
I
not
forgot. I
serious.
forgot you grew up in Ramaz. So you
No,
know
but
about
no,
billionaires.
I didn't. By the way, when I met the guy, I didn't know he was a billionaire. And I once asked him early on in my career. I asked him for his insurance business, and I was like petrified. And I said, "Can I?" You know, we were in his car. His driver driving the car, and I said, "Can we talk about your insurance?" And he said, "No chance. I have a 40-year relationship. Like it's not gonna happen." And I said, right after, I like felt like, "Oh no, there's gonna be something like the seat is gonna engulf me. There's gonna be some chemical that's gonna like kill me." And I said, I'm sorry. And he's like, "Don't ever do that." I said, "Don't ever do what?" He said, "Don't ever apologize for asking. You have bills to pay. You have a wife, kids, whatever it was at the time. Don't ever apologize. If I say no and you berate me and just and don't respect the boundary that I set." Again, he said to me, "Follow up with me in a couple of years. We'll see what happens." And I followed up with him. And he said, as long as you're respectful when someone says no or when someone says whatever it is that whatever the boundary that they've set is. And I think that that's what's great about the growth of HSL. And I think that that's what's going to make it great. And Avi, you probably have to deal with complaints, but like that's what it is. It's not giving up. But I firmly believe that if a sponsor says like, "Don't ever call me again," like one of the dumbest things you could do is call them. They may call you because when the league's big enough, they're going to call you.
1,000%.
But you know what I'm saying? But like that's, and I see that in business all the time.
That's part of my professional harassing, by the way. The one rule I have for myself is the second somebody says, "No, I'm sorry, I can't help," back off right away.
Right. But if they say, "My kid is already busy on Sundays this year," bang, next.
Or if they say, "I'm sorry, I can't help out this time," of
That,
course.
that's not dropped. As long as you're respectful of that.
Yeah.
And that's and I don't think you could hate that. And by the way, anyone who hates it, and I'm going to say this, I've said it before on the podcast, and I mean it seriously. And my wife really despises when I say exactly what I'm about to say, but it's fine because she is stuck with me also because she likes.
You're too many kids in. She's
No,
stuck.
no, I think she views it as a Milo. Like anyone who doesn't respect the hustle is not really someone who I can respect. That doesn't mean you have to hustle the same way as me. That doesn't mean you have to check your phone right after Shabbos because you can. And a client, in my case, a client has a leak and you run over there. That's people tell me that's an insane level of. That doesn't mean you have to harass, quote unquote, harass people respectfully like Avi, but someone who says like, "I can't believe you called me 3 times." What do you mean? You didn't answer. I left you a message. I'm trying to build something. You never told me not to call you back.
To reframe, it's a very interesting.
No,
reframe.
and if you don't like that, you don't want me to succeed, and I'm not going to let you stand in the way of me succeeding. And I think that that's like super powerful when building anything.
Yeah.
What's next at HSL?
It's a great question. HSL is my everything. It's my passion. It's my job. It's something that I intend on making it my job forever. There's no thoughts of going back and doing anything else. Obviously keep on growing within the kids and adult community in Queens and the 5 towns and expand. It's much easier said than done. It's the amount of work right now that I'm probably working easily, besides before the Chavetz Chaim raffle, easily 60 to 70 hours a week, and not an exaggeration. Like 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. every day. And Dovid also, between his psychology business and HSL, is working through the. But the answer is expand. Expand within Queens, expand within the 5 towns, expand into Florida potentially, expand into, there's Houston, Texas. There's so many areas that are in need for sports. And not just for sports, but for their kids to be busy and to learn and to help build confidence. It's a huge need everywhere. And that's the idea. That's the goal. You have to be smart, right? You can't jump into things before you're ready because, doing 30 things at the same time, but being very, very...
That's what you have to catch on the way down. Doctor, I'm sorry. That's what you have the doctor.
But that's
So you have to have the
idea.
analytical psychiatrist. He's like, psychologist is like, you can't do that. No.
The idea is to impact as many places
I
as we
respect
can.
crazy.
I would like to see an
I
HSL
respect
plane.
crazy.
I would like to see an HSL plane.
HSL plane. I was actually thinking about, by the way, we spoke about briefly.
HSL
Wait,
plane.
wait. Can it be donated from Qatar?
I thought it's Qatar.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a big machlokas.
Right.
By the way, this isn't politics.
Yeah,
This,
no, I was-
this is news.
Right. Yeah.
What? That's interesting. Just expand
HSL high school, by the way. High school basketball.
high school basketball. What
Plug
does
that
what does
coming up,
Mrs.
plug.
Adelman say about
My
HSL?
wife has.
Because
sat-
she was around before, right? Meaning you
yeah,
didn't get
we're married now almost for 5 years in September.
He has a very supportive wife.
No, but I'm saying meaning she married a guy who was working, who
she
was
married
going
a
to
guy
go
who was in
working,
yeshiva.
but was going to go to work.
Was going to go working in a regular 9 to 5
Right.
marketing. I guess
Right.
marketing's not 9 to 5, but your typical
Yeah, right.
run of the mill job.
Was it going to be stalking people for a living?
She accepted. Correct.
Like everyone.
Well, I already. So here's
She
the
wasn't
thing.
going to walk down
No.
the street. She's like, didn't change her name because she knew that everyone was going to hate Adelman.
By the way, should I tell you what made it a little easier with the HSL, me reaching out to parents and sponsors and harassing? It really is the raffle. Like I did it already for 9 weeks a year for the 3 or 4 years already before I started with HSL. So just to begin with. But in terms of my wife, yes.
I hate the fact that that's how it's segued. Like I love HSL. I hate everything about the RSA raffle, but I love it at the same time.
No, but that's just the truth. That's the honest truth. That's what made it so easy for me.
By the way, and for the record, yeah, what were you going to say?
No, the RSA raffle, like I don't want to get into this because most listeners have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is the greatest case study for how anybody can sell.
Yeah.
You have the weirdest, dorkiest guys who they believe in the mission, they're given a goal, and they just do it.
Yeah.
And the place has made millions of dollars off of people who have no business ever picking up the phone and speaking to another human. Forget about the people like Avi or the people you know are sort of.
He's right.
There are some people, the guy who gets my money, he's the cutest guy in the whole world. Cutest.
What's his name?
I'm not going to tell you. But he has zero business.
He has zero business selling.
Zero, but yet he raises money. It's unbelievable.
But Aaron, I got to turn the tables on you again for a minute. We, Avi and I, HSL, we're clients of Gordon Companies. Plug for Gordon Companies. Amazing service. Message him Saturday night at, you wait 30 minutes after Shabbos.
Not only amazing service, also amazing sponsor.
Well, I'm talking about the service part of it.
Once we're plugging.
Right, once we're plugging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it's good.
You're not salesman-y.
I get that from my father. Allah Shalom.
Uh-huh.
My father had a great saying, that we never sell our friends and they all come around.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you something. They all come around.
It's very impressive.
There's one exclusion. There's one exclusion.
Yeah.
If I have a friend who's a competitor, obviously that they don't count. And people with immediate relatives don't come around. By immediate, I mean son, son-in-law, daughter, daughter-in-law, brother, parent. That's it. Nephew, I'm taking their business every time. And it's hard. It's hard in the beginning because it's like, I see this guy at Night Seder and he's asking me a question about his insurance. And then he asked me another one 3 months later. And then I ask for his insurance and he tells me that he's had the same agent, his family's had the same agent for 30 years. And then he asked me another one 3 weeks later. And my wife is like, what's going on? And I complain to my father. He's like, they all come around. And then they all come around.
Very interesting.
It's the same thing as HSL. If you actually believe in what you're doing, you don't need to be super salesman.
Yeah, but I think you and Avi are different in that respect.
Right, because he's a psychopath and I'm not. No, but what I mean seriously, no, it's a different thing. It's a totally different thing because it's a different business model. That's why. It's a totally different business model.
Uh-huh.
Right? You guys, you
By the
can't.
way, you're right.
If you don't make X number of sales, you can't survive.
Correct.
I also get paid on renewals. So the fact that I get to service people and get paid the exact same amount of money that I would as a piece of new business or very close to it means that I don't need to be salesman because I really only need to sell you once. God willing, one day you're going to buy a house or an apartment. If I do well by you with HSL, when you hear insurance, you're going to give me the shot. I don't need to sell you. I just need to hit the ball. You're going to pitch it to me. I just need to hit it. Same thing with Avi.
You don't need tons of sales. You need high quality, meaning
You need high quality,
returning
but
business.
you also need to value the service, and then the
Right.
referrals come.
Right.
The challenge with your business, with the HSL thing, is that sponsors it's a delicate thing. The revenue from sponsors is a delicate thing. A lot of people don't want to be in the same league as their competitors because it's kind of weird. But yet you should overcharge to be the official insurance sponsor of HSL. But then you got to turn away a sponsor. And what happens if that official insurance sponsor of HSL drops out the next year, and the other guy has a bad taste in his mouth because like you can work around like different, but maybe it's a good thing for competition. You also people need to buy insurance. Nobody needs to sponsor a youth league. And have you been able to convince people on an ROI? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
What are your thoughts about that?
About the ROI?
Yeah, it's interesting because we have some sponsors. You know, we met with a sponsor recently. You mentioned who it is, Annie's Kitchen. You mentioned that we met with them, or did
Yeah,
you?
I brought up. I
Really,
mentioned how they
really-
lost in the championship to Gordon.
Oh yeah, really, really sweet guy.
That's why they're not seeing an ROI. If they would win, wouldn't be a bunch of losers.
By the way, Gordon Company softball. The Bombers are hot at their tail right now.
Yeah, they're
What
down-
we
they're
lost?
down-
Didn't we lose?
You
Well,
lost
best of
game
three,
one. It's
best
a
of three.
3-game series. Last year you won. They're hot at their tails. They're hot at Gordon Company's tails. They're hungry. These guys are in their
'Cause
50s.
your Gordon Company team won the last 2 championships, not as Gordon Companies,
Right,
but
that
now
was the problem. Now all of a
the-
sudden they become Gordon companies. And
now they're like the target on everyone's back right now.
Anyway, you were saying about ROI. Sorry.
Oh,
Annie's Kitchen.
oh, Annie's Kitchen. He's such a sweetheart. He says, I'm not worried about ROI. He says, I love basketball. I love supporting it. I love the concept. He said, I just want to help support this mission. You know, it's a there's very different kinds of sponsors.
There are.
One second, but I don't. That's a personality thing. I run my business. If you wanted a charity check, we could talk about charity. If you're pitching me about a sponsorship, which is how Avi pitches it, we're going to talk about the business. In my business, sponsorships and ROI is unquantifiable because I'm not in a business where I want someone to get their first car, call Geico or go online to Geico and think that I'm going to compete with Geico. I can't. And those are not the customers that I want, the single auto, things like that, the progressives.
You do auto insurance?
I do auto insurance, but only when it's connected to other things. And we can talk about that. But
Umbrella policies.
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know what that means. I just know it's a
good.
thing.
It's something you spend money on. But for me, and I think Annie's Kitchen would agree, I really do believe this, being involved in the community creates the ROI. Meaning,
That's what he's told us in the meeting, basically.
What did
can
he
I
say?
tell you a great story about Annie's Kitchen? And you know what? Let's play this clip, but you guys should repeat this to them.
Okay.
I don't know why. This is a new owner, so I know that it's a new owner. So,
8 years.
So I can say this.
8 years.
But when I
You're
moved,
not so old, Aaron.
when I
know
moved
you're
to
old, but
Queens,
you're not that old.
I went to Queens College for summer school in 2009.
Where were you for winter school?
I was in NYU, and I took summer classes. The best thing to do is take the science labs in Queens College in the summer because it's only pass-fail, and it's just a tremendous amount of hours, and you can just get it done in half days here. Come out to Queens, eat on Main Street, and I swore off Annie's Kitchen. I ate there once. It was disgusting. The old Annie's Kitchen. I'm serious. It was the old
Clip
Annie's
it.
Kitchen. What people loved about it, right? What people loved about it, I hated about it. It's a similar thing. And I ate the Annie's Kitchen food at the championship, and now I'm back on Annie's Kitchen.
There we go.
But why am I telling this? Not because my family is going to spend tens of thousands of dollars a year at Annie's Kitchen. It's going to make sense for their sponsorship. But what it means is
Well, they cater bar mitzvahs, you know.
by being the company, the food sponsor, one of the food sponsors, who let me contrast that with something else. We're huge Smash House people.
So are we.
Another sponsor, huge. I know it's on the hat. My son, he should live and be well, is an amazing. One of his greatest qualities is he has tremendous sportsmanship and energy. Like he just
Awesome kid.
he brings the energy.
Positive vibes.
He's a small kid. He brings positive vibes,
Yeah.
and he pumps up the team.
Yeah.
He won the Smash House Midos Award,
Yeah.
and the marketing gimmick that I love about that is, I don't want to say there's zero chance. There's a very small chance that I'm only bringing my son in to spend the $10.
Exactly.
So
I always say a $10 reward is Is $100.
It's a teaser, right? It's a teaser.
$100 bill.
That is a different view on marketing, which works. I'm not saying it doesn't. Than the Annie's Kitchen method, which is I want to be involved in the community. I want to sponsor a team. I'm going to give some food. But really, what I want is that people hear Annie's Kitchen, they know that I'm involved. And maybe they'll think, oh, the guy that supports my kid playing basketball, that's the person that I want to order from instead of the competing Chinese place.
Yeah.
How do you quantify that 8 months later? You can't quantify that. You're not in the business of clicks. Now, you're working very hard on referrals and things like that, and that's great, and that's something you can quantify. But if you believe in community and you believe the power of community, and the Jewish community is, and this is not me trying to poke or speak ill of anyone else, famous business people have said, look at the Jewish community. Look at how we help support each other. Look at how businesses grow. Look at how the youth, look at the family values, look at Shabbos, look at things like that. So if you believe in that and you're in the community, being the guy in the community has its advantages. That takes time.
Sort of like name recognition a little
Yeah,
bit.
that takes time.
We get that from companies. all
My
the time.
goal is when somebody thinks of insurance, when the person whose kid is on Gordon Company's insurance has an insurance question at some point in the next 5 years, I've linked the word insurance and Gordon to them. That's why I sponsor HSO. I wish I could say it's charity. I do that too. But I'm thinking, I want that when people think insurance in the community, when they're in the league, when they see the status, they think Gordon.
Yeah, that's something that I tell all sponsors, regardless of ROI, which hopefully we obviously try to give all of our sponsors as much business as possible. But because it's my full-time gig and I'm on this and I'm passionate about it, I'm constantly, whether it's doing highlights on our WhatsApp status or whether it's pumping stuff into our community, constantly, like, if you're a sponsor of HSL, your name is being constantly pumped out to, everyone who's following us, so that when someone's walking around and hears about an insurance company, they're going to think about Gordon Companies. And they hear about, a Chinese place, they're going to think about Annie's Kitchen. When they hear about an appliance store, they're going to think about Town Appliance. Like, it's an automatic given because professional harasser, I am constantly in your feed yelling about Smash House hitting a 3.
No, we do need to talk about that though. We got to get out of these announcement groups. You can't even mute them. You can't exit them.
and by the way,
Is there a way to mute them?
You can't
mute
really mute them because it's a community. So you have to go into each one. And when you create in the community a new group, HSL Spring 2025 sponsors, I need to remember to go in and mute that to get off of
Which,
Avi.
by the way, you're welcome to all of our sponsors. It's very hard to avoid, and I think it helps.
Obviously, WhatsApp is doing that intentionally.
No,
making it
100%.
challenging.
Yeah.
And by the way, we had Jacob from
Jake
Addictive
Byrne.
Byrne from Addictive Ads, and he's
He said he got a bunch of business from being on
he's
here.
on something. It was a great episode. We had a great episode.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's now starting a new company. He's helping us out, actually.
Yeah, exactly, affiliates.
Yeah.
No,
and
research.
research.
And
He did the
research.
Oh yeah, and research. Okay, psychological research.
By the way, back to before I don't know if we're wrap up soon, but asking about my wife, I wanted to just give her a quick shout out. And Dave started saying it for a second. So she had
supportive.
Yeah, she had no clue about any of this. She knew I was always very into sports and community and camp and how I was obsessed with Romu and I couldn't stop going back there. And
You're a Romu guy?
I'm a Romu legend.
I'm gonna ask him.
He
that.
thinks he's a Roman legend.
No, I know.
Where did you grow up? You grew up. You said also in Queens.
I grew up in Kew Garden
grew up in
Hills. Yeah,
Flatbush.
I'm
Where?
68th Drive near Seasons.
Got it. Okay.
Seasons Marketing, right?
If you ask
S&M Pharmacy also.
you ask any kid between.
No, I'm not doing it. We're not doing it.
Sorry,
By the way,
sorry.
we've
No, we're
done
not
this,
doing
and
it.
they don't know his
They
name.
know
They
you.
all
They
know.
don't
They all
know. They
know.
don't know his
They
name.
have no
It's
idea.
We've done this game. They
It's
don't
like
know
Derek Jeter walking through Manhattan is like me walking through Omo. Even like 8 years removed.
Okay, we're gonna close the podcast with that. By the way, I'm an identical twin, so there's nothing greater than when like someone's like, "Are you one of the Gordon kids?" My daughter's 14. My wife took her to a dermatologist. She had something on her hand or something, and she walks into the dermatologist in the 5 towns. She looks at the chart. She looks at my daughter. My wife is sitting there. She goes, "Is your father Aaron or Daniel?" And my wife's like, "Oh no, like really, really, we're doing this." She's like, "Aaron." She's like, "Oh, whatever." Went to Seneca together. Aqua great. By the way, maybe if they become a sponsor, I'll give them a plug. But they're a great mother-daughter. I'm not gonna give them a plug yet. I'm not giving them a plug.
I would have to know.
It's like people yell at me. Like my goal is that I have to like cover the tape over my drink.
Yeah.
Before we stop, one quick marketing question.
Wait, I want to give a shout out to my wife.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I
Definitely.
agree. No, so I was going to say very quickly when I first started this, we got married, she had no clue about this, and she was 1,000% on board, even though she knew that I might not, be making the most money for the first year, 2 years, even 3 years.
10
she
years.
knew 10 years. It's something that I'm super passionate about. She knew that I was miserable in my old job, and she was 1,000% bought in from the beginning. Like, she pushed me to do it. I was very nervous what she would say, doing this. I didn't necessarily have the most support from people around me. Oh yeah, go ahead, start kids leagues and adult leagues. Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
Yeah, be the creepy guy.
Yeah, you're gonna make
Be the creepy guy with no
millions of
kids who's
dollars.
starting a kids league.
You're gonna make millions of dollars doing that way. But no, my wife she's
She's like,
full-
I support you and I'll visit you in jail.
yeah, she's like
I'll stand by you in trial.
That's funny.
she's like I'm in, and until today she's 100% supportive, and I really appreciate that. Anyways,
And by the way,
Abby married very well.
that's an underrated part of the hustle is having a supportive family and spouse.
it's beyond. Yeah, it's amazing that she's.
One quick
so-
marketing question for you. I love
it.
the New York Risk Advisor whole thing, and I saw you were adding New Jersey Risk. You did that already? I don't know.
I am NJ Risk part time. Yeah.
Part time, okay, because I saw some of the marketing stuff. But how does just marketing question? So your Gordon companies, your New York Risk Advisor, is it a contradiction? It's not a contradiction.
No,
but they're
it's
different
actually
brands?
it's actually a good story. In 2020, I was
Okay.
sitting in my house in. Good question, by the way.
Something I was wondering about.
You should host a podcast.
You should, Dovid.
In 2020, I was sitting in my attic during COVID. I was blessed to have 4 kids at the time, all under the age of 10.
Sounds like a real bracha during COVID.
It was a huge blessings were just showered upon my wife. So I would lock myself in my office in my attic because I had a business to run, and insurance was no different, and people were going crazy and how are they going to pay the bills and things like that. And I was just sitting there saying, like, I've done networking events for 5-6 years straight, 2-3 nights a week, and now I'm stuck here. I want to get on the social media thing. So I spoke to my parents, my father was Shalom, and Havda Mechaim L'chaim, my mother. She should live and be well, and she's the real force behind our business. And I'm like, listen, I wanted this thing. And
Your
like,
mother's the force behind Gordon
yeah,
Companies.
my mother's the real force. My mother came out in 1983, and the business would definitely not. I said this at my father, Shloshim, 0% chance it would be what it is today without her. Because my father and I ran around having fun and making sales, and someone has to make sure the bills get paid and the clients are taken care of and things don't fall through the cracks. And that's an underrated part of the hustle. So to make a very long story short, my parents felt that we had a 50-year brand and they didn't want me to run around on social media and do silly things and things like that. So I said, okay, Gordon Companies, and if you look, it's not very active on social media, but the social media that Gordon Companies does is very like generic, stiff legalese insurance. Because that's what we are. We represent 55 years of trusted advice, and you can count on us, and the companies that we work with know that we have a reputation, and that's the greatest thing, and I would never do anything to risk that reputation. But no insurance people have personalities. Right? Like nobody. You meet the guy who's going to tell you that you should be careful when you're driving or not have a trampoline. So I wanted to let my personality show. So I told him, listen, you'll never see me like skydiving, eating a banana upside down. Like that's not going to be me. I'm not doing anything illegal or like crazy or cursing or anything like that with NY Risk Advisor, but I want to be myself. And Gordon Companies, you want to be sacred, and I don't want to disrespect that. So I came up with the NY Risk Advisor thing, and so it's not a contradiction. It's like a build. It's like I am the NY Risk Advisor, and I happen to work at or run Gordon Companies. But Gordon Companies can have many risk advisors that work for it. But the NY Risk Advisor kind of took on a life of its own because these are my real plates.
I know.
So like
I stalk you.
my
Avi
life
taught
is
me.
my life is my life is like, but it's my life. My life is the insurance. My life is consumed with it. Other than my family and my friends, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I think about it. Insurance and risk and how to help people and what could go wrong and problems. And I got that from my father. My father, till basically his last day, was hustling insurance. Like he would have sold the nurse on his last day if he could. And that's a tremendous amount of hustle, and that's NY Risk Advisor. And that's where Keep Hustling came from. So,
Very, very moving.
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff about my father. I should do an episode on him. Maybe
Yeah,
episode
absolutely
100
should.
is coming up.
I'd
But
love
anyway.
I'd love to interview you about him.
Hey, you should.
And I'll do it-
Psychoanalysis.
and
We're
I'll
going to
do
do
it for free.
psychoanalysis.
Yeah,
We're going to do
I'll do it for free.
psychoanalysis. Gentlemen, I think we should do another episode because there's a lot to cover. We love this.
Yeah.
And some of us have jobs, unlike Avi. Like some of us actually have jobs we need to get to, and we can't just spend hours here.
Somewhere to be
The-
day at all times.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast, and each one of you have to answer where we leave our guests with their favorite motivational, inspirational. We ask them to leave us with their favorite motivational, inspirational quote. So I'm going to turn that over to you. I'm going to do something that I've never done in the show notes.
Wow.
What is with you, Rabbi, Doctor?
Is that a weird noise?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, wow, that's exciting.
What I'm going to do is I would like to, you have to just figure out the tech of this, Avi.
Okay.
In the show notes, I don't want to just put the social media handles. I like to put a link where people can click, and then it says like, add me to your contacts to get the status.
That'd be amazing.
Okay, so I think we should, I don't know how to do that. You got to,
I could do that.
you send me the verbiage and we'll put it in.
Figure that out, yeah.
But I think people should follow it, not just according to companies involved, but all joking aside, the kids' content is fun.
Yeah.
The adult content that comes out literally almost nightly is so good. And people go so nuts. And it's
Your kids like it?
My kid, not my kids. Forget my kids, me. I don't want announcements. I don't want announcements about the league. I want to see a controversial finish where some guy who I know who acts like a normal person at parent-teacher conferences acts like a total nutcase.
It's crazy.
That's what I want.
I get that all the time also, by the way.
And then when I see the guy in the supermarket, he doesn't know that I know that he got thrown out of the gym, which rarely happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the greatest
Maybe
extreme.
we should start throwing people out of the gym more.
No, I think you should have your own security team that like removes people.
Wow. You want to be on it?
Hello, my neighbor.
Salman Pollock would be down.
Hello, my neighbor.
I was gonna say.
Not to digress because we really got to end the episode. My neighbor, one of the kids was on my son's basketball team, and I convinced the the son who's in 7th grade to come and cheer us on for the championship. We geared him out. Gordon Companies. We got
I remember.
whatever.
Yeah.
And the way the gym was, just to describe it for the people who weren't there, is only one team's basket had fans behind it. That's an important part, right?
I found the quote. Yeah.
But you know, only one team's. So
Yeah.
I convinced him again in a 3rd and 4th grade league. I want to be clear about what we're doing here. 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd and 4th.
Mostly 3rd and 4th, some second, some
Second, 3rd,
fifth,
4th.
but mostly 3rd and 4th.
Nobody was above 4th grade.
Correct. Maybe 1 or 2.
To go under the hoop when the kid was shooting the foul shots,
Yeah.
and like wave his hands and start cheering, and he got thrown out of the gym by the ref.
The ref's like, get out of
The
here.
ref tossed him, and my wife was like, "I can't believe you just did that." And then came back.
Yeah.
I got to come back, and I said to her, "I'm like, listen, it was totally me. Like, it's not his fault. He's not going to be anywhere near the hoop. But like, let him go back." And the ref's like, "No, he's gone. He's gone."
You know what we ended up doing?
A 12-year-old kid at a 3rd and 4th-year-old athlete.
That's our.
And by the way, what I will say
that's our
is,
guy Don right
by
there.
the way, but we've mentioned a lot about psycho. I want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
And I say this to all the parents out there whose children are playing youth sports, not just in HSL. And this is not my own thing. I learned it. We spoke a lot in this episode about my father. And I learned this from my father because I have such incredible memories of my father cheering me on cowbells, all this crazy stuff when I was in elementary school and high school.
Really?
My father, Allah Shalom, was a super fan. They banned cowbells at Yeshiva League games because of my father. He would give them out. He would stand there. He had them. He had the thing where like you waved your head. It was on your head, your arms, your legs, the whole deal.
They're ringing in my head right now.
There is almost nothing that a parent can do for their child than cheer them on and support them. And we almost never get the opportunity to cheer them on because they're like in school. Like, what am I going to do? My son comes home. He says, like, my daughter comes home. She says, I got a 95 on my math test. And I say, like, great. But that's cheering on after the fact.
Cheering on in the
I
moment.
think Avi will verify.
Yeah.
I am the most passionate parent at HSL games.
Yes. And
Not in a disrespectful way.
no,
Why should nobody be cheering defense?
Aaron's locked.
You're not
No.
really considered passionate until you start cursing at the refs.
No, but right. So I won't do that at a youth game. I would do that at a youth game. I do not argue with the refs because
No. Aaron's very positive, but very.
I'm not going to get thrown out. No, but I think, but these kids, when they're in 3rd and 4th grade, let them see that people are passionate. Like it was, this coach in the semifinals, this Raj guy, shows up. He's like, guys, I probably don't even know that this happened. He's like, guys, we've got to level up our game today. This is not a joking matter. We're going to make it to the championship. And I feel like you guys are not focused. So you know what we're going to do? And he reaches into a bag and he takes out, our color was blue sweatbands. He goes, put it on your head so you're always thinking about the game. Put it on your arms so you always feel about your strength.
Yeah.
And he gives the kids these
His name is
plain
Raz, by the way, not Raj.
Raz, right? these
Avi always calls him
hello,
Raj.
these blue sweatbands.
That's legend.
And he's like,
Yeah.
lock
Sweatbands
in.
around the head, yeah.
So if you're the kid, and this random guy on his time off with his own money, not a lot of money, not Amazon, nothing, did that, are you not going to be locked in for that game? Are you not going to try harder? Are you not going to be passionate about that as much as he is?
It's a beautiful story.
He did that on his own, totally on his own for the kids. I didn't even know about it until I got there. I see them all rocking blue headbands.
It was and you probably thought it was a parent also.
Parent brought it.
It was the craziest thing, and he put 1-1. We had a great time.
You know, it's a beautiful story. Like as a psychologist, I deal so much with parents who didn't take their kids seriously. Which Aaron, you clearly take your kids really, really seriously.
I just really want my kid to be a good athlete. It really. I stopped coming.
He's got.
But I stopped coming last year. It was too painful. Last year was too painful.
Yeah.
I couldn't go. I almost got thrown on my nephew's.
That's when you know you're passionate.
My nephew is a very, very, very serious Little League player in New Rochelle. Not in a Jewish league. Very, very serious. They have a Jewish team.
Yeah, I remember. I think you remember telling you that.
This kid he's very good. This league, you want to see good parents? You want to see crazy parents? Go there. Because in this league, there's pitch counting. Because there's a maximum, because of the kid's arms, there's a maximum. But not only is there a maximum number of pitches, if you catch, it counts towards your pitching.
Why?
Because you're throwing the ball back constantly. So it's 2 for 1. It's 2 for 1. You can throw as many, you can catch double the amount of pitches than you can pitch.
That's got to be crazy.
But if you catch, so this guy comes in, you're the catcher, right? You're 9 years old. You're the catcher. You go on the mound. You strike out the first batter, let's just say, and then 2 strikes on the second batter. Some parent starts going nuts that you're over your pitch count. Now, I believe the rules that they're allowed to finish the batter. I believe that's the thing. And then they start arguing, and they're like, no, he caught 86 pitches. And they're like, no, he caught 84, so he really has another batter. It's the most amazing thing. But my brother and I, we got passionate about this. And literally the head of the commissioner came over. He's like, I just want to remind you guys that this is 4th and 5th grade.
It's 4th and 5th grade kids.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, on the coaches, by the way, that's actually my father is very into that. They do it a lot in my brother's leagues. Like these kids, they feel an extra chashivas when they have people that they look like to them are like really official, super, official looking coaches. It helps them a lot.
100%. And they believe in them.
Yeah, it helps them with their confidence. Also helps them enjoy it more, makes it more real for them.
We're going to get to the quotes, but the other great thing about this league are the parents, and I know the rule book. The parents who start berating the refs. There was one where the guy's like, ref, you got to call a travel. He goes, do you want me to call a travel every single time? It's like, there's no, unless the kid picks up the ball and starts running with it.
4th graders.
Like, you can't call the kid shuffling their feet, and the refs are great.
4th graders.
But anyway, okay.
It's a difficult balance in the adult league, too.
Yeah.
No.
They say, you want me to call everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No. But fouling, they can have their own thing. You got to call every travel in the adult league. You got to call every travel.
No, travel. Travel.
You have to.
I think in our adult league, the issue is that there are 2 types of refs. You have an old school ref that's going to let you play and actually only going to call a foul unless you actually think it impacts the actual
And people
play.
are used to getting tapped and getting to the line.
Exactly. That's it.
No blood, no foul.
Yeah, that's sort of the.
You're a 90s Knicks guy. No blood, no foul.
That's by the way.
Can we not mention that right now?
What, the 90s Knicks?
No, the Knicks in general.
I just, honestly, I really thought, I think there's going to be a fight.
In this series specifically?
No, wouldn't it be amazing?
Halliburton's going to get
No, wouldn't it be amazing? By the way, this is going to be air after the series, but it doesn't matter. Wouldn't it be amazing if, like, you know how they're showing in at all the games, like the former players that are at the games?
Yeah.
So, like, imagine all of a sudden, like, something happens, and like John Starks steps onto the court, and
Do you know who John Starks is?
Yeah.
And Mark Jackson, who was the point guard at the time for the Pacers.
Who was?
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, sure.
Right? It was Mark
Ended up
Jackson.
being like the St. John's
but it was
coaches.
Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, and Rick Smits were the team.
Good references.
No, it wasn't Chris Mullin. No, it was another. There was a 4th guy. He was like
Wait, what
the
team was
power
Chris
forward.
Mullin on?
No, Chris Mullin was on the Warriors. But he also came to the Pacers.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Knicks was like John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Allen Houston at the end.
And the Oakman.
The Oakman, but the Oakman's banned from MSG. Yeah. But just imagine if they show like John Starks and Mark Jackson, or like John Starks goes after Reggie Miller on his TNT broadcast. Would that not be the greatest thing ever for like a 90s kid?
Lively mind. I
actually I have to credit Reggie Miller, by the way. I would expect him to be a lot more biased. Actually, in my opinion, a pretty non-biased.
This is good stuff, Aaron.
No, I appreciate it. Okay.
Quotes?
We're going to turn it over. Let's hear your favorite motivational and inspirational quotes, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Go ahead, Avi.
I'll stick to some home cooking here. And actually, I'm not sure who exactly came up with it, whether it was Dovid or myself or whether we researched it. But I'll actually go with our own HSL quote. I think it's very apropos for what we're trying to do. you want a HSL where sports becomes community. It's very, very, it's very important for us. It's something that it's more than just, like I said before, showing up and playing a sport. You're showing up and you're playing with your friends and your friends' friends, and we're not just looking for one sect of the community. We're open for everyone, and we're here to give everyone a good time and hopefully help build skills and also help build confidence. And I think it's just very important for kids that you're not just showing up and playing a sport. You're showing up and you're having coaches who care about you and they care for you and they want to help you grow in both skill and confidence, or giving you Smash House gift cards, or giving you this gift card.
Or making friends in a community that you normally might not have hung out with.
Meeting people from other areas.
I got to know Aaron. Aaron's an unbelievable person. Yeah. He's got so much going on. He's
Relax. You should move out of Forest Hills. Move into KGH.
You know, our adult leagues also. You know, with our communities that we have on WhatsApp, even not even in person, even on WhatsApp. Like these people are.
Yeah, Glenn Zuckerman. The guy's 55 years old. He's 20.
Glenn, I just want you to know, Glenn Zuckerman. When I saw that he was so passionate, Glenn Zuckerman was already out of Camp Seneca Lake when I arrived in 1996. But his brother Ross, who now is the camp director in Camp Seneca Lake, was my counselor, and his brother TJ was my waiter.
I didn't know there was a connection. I didn't know you knew Glenn. Or the
I
family.
don't even think I know the family extremely well. I didn't even
You
know.
knew that?
I saw him on one of these things. He like had a hot take or something. And I'm like, and I don't even know Glenn because again, he was gone out of camp. I went after second grade. He had 3 other brothers. Brett, I'm sorry, was my counselor.
He'd be a good guest for you here.
Brett, Ross, and then TJ. Glenn was the old guy who was gone already. And now I'm like, dude, get a life, but I love the fact that you love this. So
we have
during the softball seasons, we'll text every single day of the week about some nonsense. It's like 5 years ago, I would not know the guy at all. You know, now we have a warm relationship.
Where sports becomes community.
Yeah,
I love it.
So for the kids and adults.
I got it. You know, I'm doing the sports. I'm very involved in the sports, but like at heart, I'm a psychologist. And if this can touch one person who watches, you have a large audience. You have thousands of people following you on Instagram. I've been in therapy for 15 years, maybe even 16 years. I'm a psychologist myself now. And, you know, I was thinking about therapy, and I was just thinking about how hard life is and how much people struggle. Depression, anxiety, drugs, opioids now. So many people have opioids, alcohol, substance use, all kinds of things, schizophrenia, and even worse situations. There's a quote from Freud, which rings in my mind. He says, if therapy can...
Never did I think I was going to get a Freud on this podcast.
He said...
He's a deep man.
You know, people make fun of Freud, but he says such a simple yesod. He said, if therapy can turn hysterical misery into ordinary unhappiness, I consider myself a success. And it's like, it's not a motivational like speech. It's like, life is really, really, really hard. And then maybe sometimes therapy can help you just have ordinary unhappiness, you know, not hysterical misery. Not where you're crying to yourself to sleep at night. So that's my pitch. And, you know, I've had help from a lot of people in my life. If somebody can hear that and like maybe feel a little less darkness, that would mean a lot to me.
I love that. This has been another episode of Keep Hustling. Remember, do well by doing good. And of course, and always, like the HSL guys, keep hustling.
Thanks, guys.
All right, hustlers, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. If you have any suggestions, comments, or even just want to say hello, please feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms. We are Keep Hustling Pod. Until next time, stay curious, stay hungry, and keep hustling.